Good morning, and welcome to this little adventure update video I'm going to be doing here. I want to share with you guys kind of where I've been and where I'm going next, what I'm going to be doing right now, all that fun stuff. So let's get into it. Today is December the 6th. Today's actually my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with where I am right now in life, which, what could you ask for more than that, you know? I've definitely got a difficult road ahead of me, but I have some really big goals I'm working towards, and I'm really excited to see them come to fruition. All right, so a quick recap on the past 7 months when I was sailing and cruising throughout the Bahamas. I started with Maru on the boat from Mexico. We went up and through and around the Abacos. It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of stuff, but it was really taxing on me. I didn't really have a good sailing groove going on. It was just a lot of stress, as well as almost losing the boat and dying like 2 or 3 days in. So yeah, it was just a lot of stress, but it was good fun. And Maru got to experience a lot of things, a lot of sea turtles, a lot of spearfishing, a lot of seafood, which was really good. A lot of the refits I had made to the boat all worked out, which I was very happy with. And then Maru got off the boat, and I was supposed to solo sail, but I ended up meeting this girl named Kim. She was a ton of fun to be around, so I said, hey, come join me for a little bit. So she was on the boat for a couple weeks, and we had an absolute blast. Then I had Alicia fly onto the boat, and it was me and Alicia for a little bit. She was a ton of fun as well. She had been on the boat back in 2020, I think it was, for a month. So she came back this time, I think, for just a couple weeks, and we had a lot of fun. We transited from the Abacos to Eleuthera, and that's where she flew out from. And then pretty much the next day, Josh, the Australian, he came onto the boat, and he was with me for a little more than 50 days, I think. Josh was fantastic, an excellent chef, drone pilot. We went all throughout Eleuthera, through the Exuma chain down to Staniel Key, and then he got off in Staniel Key. I then started solo sailing because I felt like I hadn't really had a break, just some me time. So I was gonna solo sail for like a month or so, and then maybe take on a crew or head back to the US. I was gonna take on a crew member to cross the Gulf Stream, but it just seemed like nobody was really working out. Nobody really wanted to like make it, and I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't feeling like there was enough motivation from the people I was talking to. So I just kept solo sailing, and I ended up meeting with Freedive Steph and the C'est La Vie crew, Hilton and Amy and Chef Will, Laurent the photographer, Stefan the, oh man, I don't know how to describe Stefan. But anyway, so it was this whole really cool crew, this tribe, the C'est La Vie tribe was super cool, and ended up getting along with them famously, and I want to say it was like close to a month that we were like all rafted up together. And it was just taken one day at a time, but every day was outstanding. But I mentioned that because it was important. It was a kind of a pivotal time for me, because I feel like I relearned how to sail and cruise. I kind of like got my spark back with sailing and cruising. And instead of bringing the boat back to the US, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep sailing throughout the Bahamas. So that's what I did. I took off, once I split from them, I did a little bit of solo sailing. So from Nassau, I went over to the Berry Islands, and I ended up meeting a friend over there. He was a fan, messaged me through my page. We ended up becoming best buds. His name's Greg, great guy. And we sailed together for like a month or two, until I then took on Victoria as a crew member. Victoria was on for the last month, and we went from the Berries to the Abacos and kind of back out and around where I had gone through. The trip ended with going to Tiger Beach, which was very difficult to find, but just a ton of fun. And it was a really big bucket list thing for me. I had set out to do so many things in the Bahamas that last season. You know, just living off the ocean was a really big one, and I felt like I really accomplished it. And then to get to dive so close, just me and the tiger shark, nothing else in the water, just me and them, that was really cool. So I get back to the US, and that ended 7 months straight of sailing throughout the Bahamas, which was really awesome, actually. I didn't feel that burned out. I was a little burned out, but not that bad, actually. I feel like I picked up a good rhythm. And so I say that because I just have a newfound love of sailing, you could say. I just want to do it more and find the best ways to do it. Because in years past, I think I had sailed too far, too quick, and wasn't really doing anything along the way. But now I feel like I've really slowed down, and I'm bringing so many freaking hobbies along the way. I'm fire dancing and slacklining, flying drones constantly, even doing aerial silks on the boat. It's just a who's who of what's what. It's outstanding. I love it. So 7 months in the Bahamas, I get back here, I sail into Fort Pierce, Florida, where I had my boat before. I end up going back to the same marina, Harbor Town, did a little video on it. And I've got a lot of my old friends there and support network, do some kiteboarding, and really just get back on my feet. So for the past month, I've been here in Fort Pierce, kind of, I got my cell phone number again. I have transportation, sort of. So I've gotten back on my feet. And a friend of mine let me borrow his Ford Transit, sort of like a Sprinter van. So I've got the van. I'm gonna be doing a few things to it, doing a van build. Very excited for that, to see what I can do, as well hopefully a couple of van trips. Now moving up to the present right now, today is, like I said, December 6th, my birthday. It's also the day I'm supposed to haul out my boat. I'm gonna call up the marina in just a moment and double check with them. But yeah, I should be getting my boat hauled out today, and I'm excited, but I'm very nervous because this will begin a very challenging and uncomfortable time for me. I know already. I don't really have like a stable place to live while I'm doing this. I'm gonna be living, with a friend in his boat or another friend inland on their couch. And yeah, it's just gonna be a very tough time for me. So while my boat is hauled out, the main thing to do is a bottom job and get rid of the 200 something blisters I have on the bottom. I've got a lot of boat blisters, it's not good. But yeah, so I'm gonna be doing that. Among other things, I also wanna do or put on a feathering prop. I'd like to be able to sail much faster, and I feel like that's something that would help me out with that. As well, the prop I have on right now, it feels like it's just a little corroded and chewed up, just from wear and tear. I mean, I've had it for a while, and it was on the boat, I don't know how many, a decade or two before that. So it might just be time to change it out. What I'll probably end up doing is the projects that I have to do while I'm hauled out, and then as soon as I'm done with those ones, splash the boat back in the water and get back over here to Harbor Town Marina. That way I have a safe, comfortable place to work on the other projects. Some of the other projects too aren't just the physical ones with the boat itself. Another big project I need to start doing is editing all of my footage. I've been kind of struggling to figure out how exactly to do this. Do I do a video every week that encompasses 1 week? Well, then I never really get ahead, and that kind of still takes me a while to edit that anyway. So my rough plan is I think I'm just gonna edit large chunks of a month or more, while I was out in the Bahamas especially, and get up to speed on that. And then I'm gonna actually go back and edit all of the past chapters of footage I've never put out. So I started doing what I call an epic-mentary, and I've done Central California, Southern California, and Baja. So the next ones will be New Zealand, then Australia, then South Africa, then the Pacific Coast Tour, where I go from San Diego all the way up to Alaska. Then when I worked, in the Redwood Forest, learned how to sail, I had built a minivan and drove across the country. Then when I got my sailboat and took it down around the whole East Coast, then I went and did the Bahamas for the first time. Then when I survived COVID, and that would then tie back into my time in the Bahamas recently. So I think it's like 15 videos I need to do, and I can be caught up. And that's a major goal of mine, is to be completely caught up with all of my major video work before I set sail again. In fact, I've set a challenge to myself where I will not set sail until I've done that. So that might bite me in the butt, but so be it. I'm tired of having the stress of all this unfinished video editing, it's just kind of sitting on me. So I'm gonna try to get all that done. At the same time, I'm gonna try to be doing a lot of boat work. So this is just the vague outline. I have papers among papers back here, but some of the major things I want to do is adding a water maker to the boat, glassing over my Dodger to make it a hard Dodger, the bigger battery bank, so I'm going to add some lithium, a lot of lithium hopefully, and that will work well with 1,000 watts of solar I already put on. A freezer, which would be fantastic for a number of reasons. Ice cream in the Bahamas after a few months of being out there, forget about it, it's unreal. The feathering prop I talked about. hopefully getting new sails. My good friend Jay gave me his old jib sail, but it works great. The mainsail could definitely use a touch-up, but between a new bottom job, a feathering propeller, and new sails, this boat would just move considerably faster. Even with just the new jib, the new to me jib this past season, I noticed I was averaging about a knot faster, which was outstanding. So that'd be really great. Maybe an electric windlass. That one actually might wait, funny enough. I feel like I could do that later. I'm gonna customize my dinghy quite a bit. I wanna add a little boat garden, that'll be cool. And a periscope, which I'll just save that for another video. So it's an extremely ambitious plan that I have right now to do all this computer work as well as all this boat work, but I think it's possible. I have the time, I've saved up the money, I'm gonna do a little bit of work if I have to, but for the most part, I'd rather just not spend money any way I can. So yeah, if it's not an absolute necessity, I'm not gonna do it. With the exception of a couple trips I'm planning on taking. A really good friend of mine, Dr. Derek, who's also the same one who's lending me his van that I'm doing the van build for. He's offered for me to come out and see him in Tenerife in the Canary Islands, which that, out of all the trips I want to do this season, is the number one. I don't think I'll let anything stand in my way of doing it. I think I'll just, if I have to, delay sailing out. But that is my main goal, one of my main goals for trips this season. I'd also like to go explore Central Florida a bit more and do some of the natural springs. I plan on getting an underwater camera, like a proper DSLR this season. And yeah, that'll be great for doing really good underwater photography, which is something I really want to get into. Laurent, who I met with C'est La Vie, he inspired me. Just the photography he was getting, me with my GoPro, I just couldn't take it anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. Anyway, and hopefully a Cape Hatteras trip. Those three would be really great, but if I have to, I'm just gonna go to Tenerife. It will be for at least 2 weeks, so it's not a small trip, and probably more than that if I had to guess. But I kind of miss doing trips away from the boat, you know, where I don't have to worry, I don't have to be the captain all the time, and get to be in somebody else's neck of the woods, get to be learning from somebody else. I've also been practicing my Spanish. It's one of my personal goals. So that would be really cool as a place to brush up and try on it. And speaking of other personal goals, as well as doing the refit, as well as doing the video editing, I do have a small mountain of personal goals to do this year. My workouts have been really good. I've been staying good and fit. I wake up pretty much 6 a.m. every day. Been working out, it's great. I'm slowly learning to play the ukulele. I feel like that's something that would sort of complete this boat, having an instrument on it and somebody who can play it. I feel like it's something that would complete my set of skills in a lot of ways. I have a lot of very practical skills, but that would be something that would be good for the arts. I'd really enjoy it. I plan on getting certified as a freedive instructor, probably through FII, but I'm gonna see what instructors are around the area and see what I have to do for that. I would like to get my captain's license. Not sure if I will have the time with everything else going on, but I will try to do that. And there's a few others that will either happen or they won't along the way, but that's just kind of a gist of personal goals, boat goals, and the video and you know, rebranding, editing goals. So those are all really important to me. With all of that done, I would like to set sail May 1st. That's my goal. You know, I left last year in April and I had a lot of fun, but it's still pretty cold in April, and you still get these cold fronts like the one that almost killed me and took out my boat, that just slam through it. I'm just like, I would much rather be here in Florida for a cold front than out there in the Bahamas. It's just not as much fun. May is probably the single best month in the entire year to be in the Bahamas, I would say. There's no risk of hurricanes, and it's just gorgeous. The temperature's perfect. You can start jumping in with no wetsuit and just feel wonderful. You can sleep with a light blanket on it. It's just the perfect month. June starts to get a little bit warmer. I prefer June, and then July, the heat sets in. August and September, you're absolutely burning. Hopefully the water maker, because I plan on being in the Bahamas or further south this coming summer. So hopefully having a water maker on board and being able to jump in the water constantly will help out a lot with that. So yeah, this is my plan for the next 5 months. When I do sail out, like I said, I do plan on sailing to the Bahamas first, and then the world's my oyster. I would like this to be my last refit in the US, but if I have to come back, so be it. There's some cool ways I might go about, maybe sailing through the Bahamas and then down around Cuba. That would greatly interest me. And that would also give me a little bit more experience with sailing into the Caribbean and then still coming back up to finish whatever projects I need to. But I want to talk quickly about my mission of what I'm trying to accomplish here. When I first got the boat, it was about spearfishing. And then it was like seeing the world. And it felt like everybody I talked to, their goals kind of rubbed off on me, which was, we want to sail around the world. We want to sail from A to B to C to D. And that's cool. But with what I do, it's just not as much fun. I bring so much on my boat and so many cool things that I can do, just from free diving and spearfishing alone, much less kiteboarding and paddle boarding and all the other hobbies I listed before. So for me, I've decided it's not where I sail to, but how I sail to. So finding a really nice anchorage like I did in the Bahamas and staying there for a month and really getting to know, I want to know every rock. I got to know when the certain fish would come into what areas. It was just so much fun. And that's what I really enjoyed. I also got the best content that way. And I also was the least stressed, because sailing to a new area, I have to figure everything out all over again. But sailing to a place I already know is really nice. That being said, I'm still gonna sail to new places. I'm still gonna go explore new places. But I think if you sail in somewhere and you're there for 3 days, you don't really get to know it. If you're there a week or 2, you get a good sense of it. If you're there a month, you get to really, truly know what's going on. And that's sort of what I plan on doing, is just going step by step by step. Now, I feel like I know the Bahamas a lot better. I feel like it's sort of like a second home to me. So, like I said, definitely plan on going back there. I'm gonna spend much more time in Andros this coming season. Andros is just, I love Andros. I love the people there. Nobody goes there too. That's like the good and the bad. I do like seeing other sailors, but who knows, maybe a few of you crazy sailors out there watching this will want to follow me and come to Andros and have more seafood than you know what to do with. But that's the plan. Once I get into the Bahamas, I'll probably be there for hurricane season. And then as hurricane season's done and the cold starts to come on, I think I'll start letting it push me further down. But the truth is, I don't really know what my plan is. My plan is hopefully to sail out May 1st with most of these things done. That's really the goal. Beyond that, I'm just happy to be living this lifestyle. So to wrap up this video, if you've been following my stuff and you like it, great. I'd love to hear from you. I love hearing that it's inspiring people, or if you have your own dream that you want to pursue, message me with it. Give me a quick synopsis and I'd love to give you some input. I love inspiring other people. That's really the purpose for this channel, as well as to share my adventures. If you want to meet up with me, feel free to shoot me a message. I'm going to be in the same place for the next 5 months-ish between trips. If you're looking to crew for me once I'm done with these 5 months, the sooner you can get a hold of me, the better. Once I start putting out content saying that I'm looking for crew, I usually get a couple hundred messages, so it then fades to the back. But I would love to have the opportunity to meet my next crew member before they join the boat. That's always a good thing. And other than that, I just got to get out and get on it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope I see you out there.